Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday to everyone. My name is Matt, and welcome to the Sin Bin Podcast. I hope you guys are enjoying your day so far. It's about to get a whole hell of a lot better. I am here with my co-host Jake Link, and we are ready to talk about the latest and the greatest in the hockey news. How are you, Jake?
Doing good, except if you notice, everybody, we apologize. We're starting the show a little bit later. Tech issues again on my end.
Few tech issues. We're still a new channel. We'll be growing, so there's going to be a few bumps along the road. But hey, we are here, and we are happy to be here. So,
I thought you were going to say queer.
Well, we are also pretty queer, but I thought that went without saying.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that. I want to get a gay guy. If anybody here is gay, I want to get the gay perspective on what's going on in the NHL, like a Perez Hilton type deal.
Oh God.
And I want that just like NHL rumors. But like from like a really flamboyant gay guy.
Yeah.
I think that would be really great. Like also like top. You know what? In one of your videos, you should do top 10 cutest hockey players.
Oh, I was gonna go further. I would have said he was gonna do a top 10 tightest ass in the NHL.
Well, I mean, it's hard. Drew Doughty wins for biggest ass in the NHL.
Drew Doughty wins for biggest ass. Crosby is up there. And had Yager been in the league, he would have taken the cake, no pun intended. But hey,
I mean, there's also old Phil up down in Arizona.
Yeah. So hey,
maybe we don't even need a gay guy. You and I are doing a good job talking about this.
Oh, there you go. People thought I was gay for the majority of my lifetime, so that's not any different.
I mean, yeah, we've already talked about who has the biggest asses on the show. We're not even a couple minutes into the show. Things are looking good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Why don't we get into the first piece of news? And this is a pretty big one, especially if you're like Jake and you're a big Devils fan. And this involves none other than Nikita Gusev. So the New Jersey Devils have. Go ahead. The goose is loose. The New Jersey Devils have officially acquired forward Nikita Gusev from the Vegas Golden Knights in exchange for their 2020 third-round pick and their 2021 second-round pick. And after that, the New Jersey Devils have re-signed forward Nikita Gusev to a 2-year, $9 million contract. That's an AAV of 4.5, and Gusev will wear number 97 with the Devils. So I notoriously said, whichever team gets Nikita Gusev, that's going to be a really good addition for whoever team that is. He's going to slot into their top 6, and I'm just a really big fan of this player. And I think the Devil, as you guys could tell by today's title, it's the Devils Get Richer, because I think after this offseason, they've done so many great changes. They've got PK Subban, they got Jack Hughes, and adding Nikita Gusev just makes them overall richer. As a Devils fan, Jake, what do you think of this?
I mean, it's a great deal. You can't, I kind of go with, don't trust the Russian players. But you know what? I mean, when you think that they're done, they do stuff like this. And there's rumors that they're not even done, that there might be another big signing coming in the works. Kevin, a signing I really don't want to see, and that's Shattenkirk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the rumor, because players bounce back and forth because they feel they can get them on the cheap if they're especially over here, because they don't even have to move, because
Right.
Where the Devils and Rangers play is just like 7 miles away from each other, so yeah, it's just you just put on a different color jersey, so
Right.
that's the rumor right now, but I kind of don't want Shattenkirk. I think he's too old,
Yes.
and he's not what he used to be. So
Yeah, in case you guys don't know what Jake's talking about, I actually didn't have this in my news because I had completed my notes
yeah,
before it happened, but the New York Rangers actually bought out Kevin Shattenkirk, and Jake was just there talking about the possibility of Shattenkirk joining the Devils. Hey, I don't think it would be a horrible addition. I know he's by no means the player he used to be. The negative is that if you're not good enough to play on the Rangers, and the Rangers have far from a good defense, who's to say he's good enough to play on the Devils? So there you go.
I think but I kind of think that was a salary dump
Yeah,
for the Rangers right now. You know,
yeah, that
you
could
just
be.
buy out what you can, and then
Yeah, and there's just going off of that topic again. They're talking about maybe a potential Chris Kreider trade, because just again to make room in that salary cap. As a Montreal Canadiens fan, I know I'm supposed to hate Chris Kreider for injuring Carey Price, and yes, that was intentional. I don't care what anyone says. I
oh, yeah,
wouldn't. I wouldn't
it
hate him.
was.
Yes, it was. You think so?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
without a doubt. The guy's he has a reputation of doing that,
Oh, major.
of crashing the net. You know,
Yeah, major.
not knowing how to stop, so to say.
Yeah, for sure. But that being said, if he's on my team, I wouldn't hate having him. There's worse players out there than Chris Kreider. And the Canadians, when the draft year of Chris Kreider, they ended up drafting Louis LeBlanc instead.
You know.
And
Yeah.
you playing the video out loud?
Oh no! I was checking something. That's
Oh,
me.
okay.
I was sharing it. Sorry.
I thought you hated Chris Kreider. You're trying to sabotage me here. No,
Yeah.
the draft year, I was saying the draft year with the Canadians, I think it was 2009, if my memory serves me right. They could have, I think, taken Chris Kreider. They ended up going with Louis LeBlanc, someone who'd never even panned out in the NHL. I might be wrong with that if someone can fact check me, but I'm pretty goddamn certain. But, back to Nikita Gusev. I know he's Russian, and there's still that Russian bias going around in today's NHL. I think that if you look at players like Kucherov, Kuznetsov, Ovechkin, I don't have that bias personally anymore. I used to. I used to hate Russian players, and I used to say, Montreal Canadiens, stay away from Russians. And that bias has kind of gone away in the past, but from what I've read on this player, from what I've seen in his highlights, he's going to help your team tremendously. And I don't know if he'll get the chance to play with Jack Hughes, but if they do, they're two highly skilled players. And when you have two highly skilled players like that, they can work marvels. Just look at that McDavid, Draisaitl duo in Edmonton. So anything else to say about Gusev? We kind of went around here.
I don't. There was a rumor going around that Nikita Gusev is going to wear number 97.
Yeah.
And there's another player in the NHL right now who wears number 97, who is in a completely different league than Nikita Gusev.
Yeah.
And that being Connor McDavid. Now, people were saying that it is disrespectful for him to wear the number 97 because during the time, with Gretzky and Lemieux, no one wore 66. No one wore 99.
Yeah.
So I mean, that being said, do you read too much into the whole entire politics of a number?
You know what? If McDavid, being the generational player that he is, if he were maybe 5 years or 6 years into the league, or maybe a little bit more, maybe 10 years into the league, I would say this is sacrilege. You can't go anywhere near that number. But he hasn't really made his bones yet in this league. He's a very good player, maybe even the best in the league. But for that reason, being fairly new, I don't think it's that big a deal. Before you go ahead, I just wanted to say I went on a tangent here, and I'll be remiss to say that Talking Habs is in the chat. He says, "Hi guys, Stéphane Richer was rumored to be gay, lol." And if there's anyone on my channel who hasn't subscribed to Rick and the Talking Habs, please do that. He's really a cool guy. He knows his stuff, and completely starstruck here. So thanks for the comment, Talking Habs, if you're still listening.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that. I was trying to Levi Ackerman checking in, saying yo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, but I don't read too much into the politics of that. I mean, it's like nobody should wear number 9 because Gordie Howe wore number 9.
Yeah.
You know,
And we see it
it's
everywhere.
it's just yeah. It's actually 9 is actually one of those numbers that they give to like the best players.
Yeah.
Wearing the number 9 in the NHL is an honor.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I get the 99 should never ever be worn by anybody besides Wayne Gretzky.
That's
And
I think it's a rule, right? I think the
it
NHL
is, yeah, it is.
retired it.
It's retired throughout it is retired throughout the NHL.
Yeah.
But anytime you see a jersey in any other sport with the number 99 on it, Gretzky's the best one to ever. Gretzky may be the best player professionally.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Nobody's even going to come near his records. There's going to be no debate on who, because, women lie, men lie, children lie, numbers don't. And I think as far as when you talk, like, because people sometimes will do the debate, Gretzky, Lemieux, Gretzky, blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, and there are sociopaths. Yes, I call them sociopaths because you can't be thinking that way because Gretzky's the greatest player to ever. He's the greatest professional athlete. You know,
Yeah.
period.
You know what?
There's nobody better.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I might have to disagree with you there, because I don't know if this is completely 100% factual, but I read that had Mario Lemieux not been injured, had he played the full the games or whatever, he would have caught up to Gretzky. So what do you have to say to that?
Yeah, that being said, but I mean, and God rest assured, the guy had what did he have? Hodgkin's lymphoma,
Yeah.
and he had something like that, But still, Tony Hand may have been better than Wayne Gretzky, but Tony Hand didn't get to pan out too long in the NHL because he got homesick.
Right. I don't even know who's Tony Hand.
You don't even know Tony Hand is the British Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, really?
He played, yeah. He actually was in Edmonton system around the same time as Gretzky and Messier and all those guys. But he did not pan. Well, he got homesick and he didn't want to play in the NHL. He wanted to go back to England. But this guy, if you look at his numbers throughout his career, see, Levi Ackerman says Lemieux over Gretzky. See, but that's the thing. Gretzky stayed healthy. Right. And I can't really, I feel bad saying that because it's like, okay, if he did, but, and it's just unfortunate, but, the numbers are there, Gretzky. And, not to take away anything from Lemieux could definitely be, the fact that he could be in the argument is just phenomenal. But I think Lemieux had a better end to a career than Gretzky did.
Yeah. And also, Gretzky playing a healthy, I'm sure playing with Semenko and those types of guys had a lot to do with it too. What do you think?
Yeah.
So why?
Definitely. I mean, Gretzky had a talent around him.
Right.
So did Lemieux. Lemieux didn't carry teams on his back,
Right.
So,
right. He had the Yager and all of them too. So yeah, point taken. Why don't we move on to our next story though? Because we got, some might say a major signing. I think it's a major signing, and that is Sammy Gerard signing with the Colorado Avalanche. They signed him to a 7-year, $35 million contract extension with an average annual value of $5 million. The contract kicks in for the 2020-2021 season. So that's just a little defenseman signing that I wanted to mention here. Defenseman Sammy Gerard. I see him. I don't watch the Colorado Avalanche that much. I got to see some of their playoff games, and he seems like a good, promising prospect. And inking him for $5 million, that's decent. That's a really decent contract in my opinion. He's a puck-moving defenseman. I think he was part of that Matt Duchene deal, that crazy 3-way trade with Nashville and all of them. So, God, are the Colorado Avalanche going to be good or what?
I mean, I think the Devils and the Rangers right now have been taking the headlines as far as the off season,
Yeah.
but they actually might be one of those scary good teams that nobody's talking about right now.
Yeah.
And signing a young player like this is that's going to be it's huge, and they're doing it right.
Right.
They're doing it with homegrown guys, and they got rid of that freaking nutcase Patrick Waugh, who
Yeah.
was entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
So I mean, but they're not like a national recognized team.
Right.
They play in a very desolate. They play in the freaking mountains. Like their major airport. Their airport is like 10-15 miles away from like where the city is.
Right.
So it's not it's not like the air's thin. You're just in the mountains, and it's just you gotta they're not a nationally recognized team.
Yeah, and
I said it last week.
Sorry to interrupt
I said
you.
it last
The
week.
thing is,
Okay.
they have an obnoxious amount of cap space left. That's what's the real scary thing. They can sign a big, big name in the upcoming years. I cut you off. What were you going to say?
No, I was gonna. I don't know exactly where I was going with my point.
But that's okay. Why don't? This is a
Talking
good time.
Habs said-
This is a good time to go to the chat. Talking Habs says,
Yeah.
"I'm still there. Thanks for the really nice intro." Levy Ackerman says Lemieux over Gretzky. Wow, so controversial take here. Talking
right,
Habs.
cool.
Don Cherry possessing the body of Talking Habs and says Bobby Orr was the best player ever to play the game, in my opinion. And he's another one who I don't know if he's enough in the talks of the greatest player, but I can definitely see that. From what I hear, I obviously I'm too young. I'm a little puny millennial. But what do you think of Bobby Orr, though?
Well, obviously, I am a slightly older millennial. So I did not get the chance to see him play, but people do say that he's possibly the greatest hockey player to ever play the game.
Yeah.
And I do, forget that he is but definitely top defenseman to ever play the game.
Yeah. And
like comparing defensive players' stats to an offensive player's stats is
Yeah. And Talking Habs says good move signing Girard before he becomes an RFA. Yeah, that's definitely a good move because now Marc Bergevin can send him an offer sheet. Seems like Marc Bergevin just wants to get one of these RFAs one day through an offer sheet. He's just throwing out all of his reels out there. One day he's going to get a fish. But in the meantime, we're just going to go ahead and move on to our next story. And that is one of your players, actually, Will Butcher. Will Butcher has re-signed with the New Jersey Devils, and it's a 3-year, $11.2 million contract with an average annual value of $3.73 million. Now,
in the NHL.
They are, and I don't watch the Devils that much. I definitely am going to do it this year because just the type of team they have, I'm definitely going to watch them this year. But 3.23 for Will Butcher, that doesn't seem like that much for what the type of player he is. Am I wrong?
He didn't have a good year last year.
Oh, okay. So there.
He's young now.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of go for that, and I think they're planning on him actually being his first season. He was definitely a surprise.
Right.
He's definitely he was scoring goals. He was setting up men, solid signing. Like I said, the Devils are just going to keep on plugging away, and they're just going to keep on making all these big moves. But I kind of get scary that I hope that this isn't like fool's gold. Like, if that makes any sense.
In other words, that the players aren't going to pan out and the team is going to have a lackluster
Yes. Yeah. That is like my biggest fear. Like, I wake up in the middle of the night going, oh no, Oh no, PK has a -3 freaking has a -6 plus minus, and you
Yeah.
know
Well,
he's
I hate to burst your
his
bubble.
Corsi's low.
It's Corsi. That Corsi's a bullshit stat anyway.
Yeah,
Uh,
of course.
I hate to burst your bubble though, but I'm not saying it will happen, but there's definitely a chance because just looking at their new additions, Jack Hughes, he's gonna be great. He's gonna be big, but for the moment, he's a rookie. We don't know how long it's gonna take him to adapt. PK Subban, he's had a lackluster year last year. I think 20 points difference from where he was the year before. So he could either bounce back or he could stay the same. Maybe it's a sign of things to come. So it could be fool's gold. It really could be. And Wayne Simmons, I don't know what's your opinion on Wayne Simmons. I like him. I think he's a glue guy. I think he's gritty. He'll go to the front of the net. I don't know if he's the same good old Wayne Simmons that was back in the Flyers days. What do you think?
See, I like the signing. A lot of people didn't, and I know he didn't have a crazy good year last year, but I think he's he's always one of those players that you like if he's on your team,
Yeah.
but hate if he's not on your team.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very accurate way to describe him. And
Yeah.
I'm pumped. I haven't been this pumped for a season in a long time. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Ordered your Jack Hughes jersey and everything.
I ordered my Jack Hughes jersey. Yes.
Yeah.
It should be here. Like I said, I didn't order it from a legit website. Got it off Amazon.
Yeah.
But Amazon said it's coming from China or something. And we'll see. I mean, we'll see what it looks like. We'll, some child laborers making my jersey.
Yeah.
I always wonder, like, when I order a jersey, since I am a larger man and I am ordering it, if, like, when they're stitching the jersey and putting it in, they're like, God damn, who the fuck is this fat to fit in this jersey? Like,
oh my god.
How much do they eat over there as they go? Because that's what I would be thinking. Like, God damn, like, do you really? You should be buying a Bowflex and not a fucking jersey. They're fucking sewing the H in for Jack Hughes. Yeah.
Yeah. But are the
H must be high blood pressure, you know? Just...
Oh my god. I always wondered if the jersey is larger, are the letters larger with it? Or do they say the same size? Because what if you're XXXXXX large? The letters would look weird. You know what I'm saying?
I have a friend who is very fat, and I should ask him. But I've never. He is a Devils fan, and he's like I am like an after picture for him.
Oh. Okay.
And he's a large fella, my friend Artie.
Oh, wow.
And
is that your friend that looks like Phil Kessel? Jake has a friend is the complete clone of Phil Kessel.
I do have a friend who looks like Phil Kessel, and his name's Joe Conti. He's a very funny comic, and I showed him pictures, and I was like, dude, I go, there's the one picture where they show Phil Kessel checking out the girl's ass at the All-Star Game draft when I used to do that.
Yeah.
And he looks identical to my friend. Now, might I add, my friend is like a 5'5" Italian, chubby Italian comic from North Jersey, and very very funny. He check him out. The Conti and Kenny show every Monday.
Oh shit!
On More Like Radio.
Would he come on as a guest, and I would title it like Phil Kessel interview?
It's the funny thing is, he actually does not like hockey, like at all.
Well, that we could play off that. I could just ask him Phil Kessel questions, and he could be like, "Dude, I told you, I'm not Phil Kessel. Leave me alone."
I'll talk to him. When I start, all my fucking tech issues, so I'm about to fucking take an axe to my computer.
Yeah.
When I get it all corrected, I will have like an interview show.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be definitely one of the people I'm gonna have on.
Yeah.
And but yeah, no.
Yeah.
He does look like Phil Kessel.
Yeah.
But no, that is not the friend. This friend that I'm referring to is like Phil Kessel and Mario Lemieux put together, and then just rather large. But he is a sweetheart, and I love him. and his name's Artie Kelly. He's also another comic,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I even said that joke on stage that I look like an after picture to Artie. I go, I go, this is what he strives for. If he was my size, it would be wow, you look good.
Jesus. Why don't we turn to the chat here? Talking Habs says
Yeah,
Hughes needs to bulk up. He gets knocked off the puck a lot. I think we might find that Caulfield was a big part of that line as Hughes was, and I completely agree with that. That first part of the comment, being knocked off the puck, it might
yeah,
happen. He's still a little kid, and I said when it came to the Capo Caco Jack Hughes debate, I think that in the long run, Jack Hughes might prove to be the best player, but maybe in the first year, maybe half a year, Capo's going to look like the better player. Don't be surprised if Caco Paco goes out there, whatever the fuck his name is. Capo Caco goes out there.
capo capo.
Capo Caco goes out
By the
there.
way, great job on his parents, almost making his last name sound like his first name, and the first name,
Oh,
good
dude.
job by them.
In my school, we got
That's
these.
if your name was Matthew Matthews.
Dude, you read my mind. I was going to say in my old school, there was
Yeah,
a Matthew.
Jacobs,
Yeah.
or Lincoln Link.
But
You know,
he goes on. I think that we might find that Caulfield was a big part of that line. And Caulfield said it himself after getting drafted. He said, sure, I was playing on a line with Jack Hughes, but he wouldn't have got as many as assists if I didn't put the puck in the net. Which, in one part, is really cocky of him to say. But I don't mind that because he's absolutely right. Had Jack Hughes gotten the assist, Caulfield didn't put the puck in the net. And what to say about that summer showdown? I don't know if you're following it. USA was playing Canada in the summer showdown, and in my faithful opinion, I thought the US had a way better team. It had players like Zegras, Cole Caulfield, Bobby Brink. There's a lot of first rounders.
isn't it funny now that you have two players, one who lived in Arizona and another one who lived in Orlando, Florida,
Who lived
going
there?
first overall. Jack Hughes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
He's from Orlando, and Austin Matthews is from Arizona.
Yeah.
Like, would you ever think that not only an American player, but an American player from the southern part of the country,
Yep.
and one of which that that they would go first overall in the draft?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Hockey's growing. Hockey's growing.
You
It's
know what? The Arizona Coyotes, I'm sorry if there's fans out there. I always saw them as the anus of the NHL, as the one team that were to move to Quebec. But if there's one good thing about the Coyotes, it inspired a young Austin Matthews to pursue his dream and play in the NHL. Because if there was no Arizona Coyotes, there wouldn't be any Austin Matthews.
And I wonder if Jack Hughes was a Solar Bears fan. And
Yeah.
Orlando Solar Bears.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
the ECHL team.
Yeah. But you were talking about your Ginas, your jerseys made. I meant to say your jerseys being made in China.
Yeah.
You were talking
My
about
vagina's made in China.
your
Yeah.
vagina's made in China. That's actually a really
Yeah.
good segue because I don't know if you saw this, Jake. It's been circulating on Facebook, but there was this team in youth. There was this game in youth hockey with Hong Kong playing. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing this. The Shenzhen team and
Szechuan, I
Szechuan.
guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
They all sounded, everything sounded like, I read that in the notes and I was like, is there's, we ordering Chinese food now or what the hell?
So they're playing at the National Youth Games in Chengdu, China, and everything's going fine. This is youth. I didn't see the age, but you got to think it's between 10 and maybe 16 or 15 years old. And this full-out brawl breaks out with the kids. And I actually got a clip here. I don't know if you saw it, Jake, but you won't be able to see it. But these kids are just pummeling this one guy. And what's curious is that the people... Yeah. Yeah. But seriously, every player on the ice are going at it, and it sucks for this one player in the white jersey because these two players started pummeling him. And I never, even in the National Hockey League, you don't see it very often, but it does happen that two players go against one. And what I thought was pretty curious is that you could hear in the stands, there's these parents, they're like, stop it, stop it, stop it. And I was wondering why they were saying it in English, which I don't know why, but...
maybe that's Mandarin and stop it in English.
Yeah, if Mandarin's easier, so. But yeah, that's something.
Maybe you know. Oh, now I see it. Holy crap! Look at him go. Holy shit! Damn.
Yeah.
Look at him go.
That'll put some hair on their chest, which is hard to do because they're Asian. But
look at the back of their jerseys. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you never like to see that though.
No, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised they have this many kids to play hockey in China.
Yeah. Oh wow. So yeah, that's just a little tidbit of information I wanted to add.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I could just, the skill level, it cannot be that good in China.
Yeah.
It cannot be that good.
Yeah.
Have you ever played for fun Team Japan in NHL 19 or whatever?
Well, that's funny you say that because when I would play with my cousin, I'm much, much better than my cousin. So to even the playing field...
No, don't fucking restart. Don't fucking do that. Why are you...
Oh, did we lose Jake? It looks like Jake's computer just decided to update. So no worries. He's going to come back in a little bit. I'll keep going on my own. I was going to say that he was asking me, did I ever choose Team China as a team? And I was just going to say my cousin, when he would play with me, I'm just so much ridiculously better than my cousin. So he would pick Team Canada or the NHL All-Stars or something like that. And I would choose like Team Italy to even out the playing field. And most of the times I would win. So imagine in real life if Team Italy beat Team Canada. That would be something. Again, Jake, he's going to call back in a little bit. He got a few computer issues. Nothing to be alarmed right there. Let's take a look at the chat. So we got a lot of love going on. Talking Habs says, hi, Levi. He responds with a beautiful, crisp hi. He says, how's it going, Rick? He says, I'm great. How about you? Thanks for asking. He says, hey, we're all part of this community. You're as important as mine. And Levi says, yes, sir. So a lot of love going on inside the chat. So while Jake is going to call us back, why don't we move on to our next story? And this is, again, a little bit unorthodox. It involves a hockey player getting attacked by his own dog. You heard that, folks. Arizona Coyotes defenseman Oliver Ekman-Larsson was attacked by his family's 7-year-old German Shepherd. OEL escaped with 4 stitches, antibiotics, and a tetanus shot. Unfortunately, the dog had to be put down. So that kind of sucks to see for the player. Like, it doesn't seem like that bad of an injury. He had to take antibiotics and whatnot. That's maybe to prevent an infection. I don't know if he actually got an infection. But what sucks is that me being a dog lover, they had to put the dog down. You know, you never want to see that, especially when you play for a team called the Desert Dogs. So we wish well to Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and that sucks for his German Shepherd. But maybe next time, try a little Yorkshire. It won't bite your fucking hand off. So while Jake comes back here again, let's move on to our next story, and that is pertaining to Chris Kunitz. You see on the screen it's written, congratulations, Kunitz, and that's because Kunitz has announced his retirement from professional hockey at the age of 39, and he will join the Chicago Blackhawks in a player development role. So, Chris Kunitz, I've always really liked this player, to say the truth. He's never like a superstar or anything like that, but he's played with Sidney Crosby for a lot of his period in Pittsburgh, and he developed some really, really decent chemistry to the point where, was it the 2010 Olympics That's the year where Crosby scored that golden goal. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but the team management said, we're taking Crosby. There's no way we can't take Chris Kunitz. So this is how good the player was. And I remember back in that days, I was still prepubescent, barely had any hair on my chest. My voice was squeaking. I was thinking, Chris Kunitz on Team Canada, why are they doing this? There's so many better players. Choose another player. And he was actually decent. He wasn't half bad. He was one of their most important player. Coming to think of it, it may have been the 2012 Sochi Olympics. But you know what? He had a great career, Kunitz. I wish him the best in his future endeavors, and we'll see wherever his professional career goes. What I find curious is that he started off with the Anaheim Ducks, moved on to the Pittsburgh Penguins, where he spent the majority of his career, and then he played a season or two with the Chicago Blackhawks. I always found this curious. The player retires, and the Chicago Blackhawks hire him. You would think that since he spent most of his tenure with the Pittsburgh Penguins, they would be the ones hiring him as a professional scout, but I see this often. It happened with Martin Brodeur. Again, long-time New Jersey Devil. He goes to the St. Louis Blues for a year, and then he retires and they hire him. But that may be speaking to what Lou Lamoriello was like. You know, I'm not sure they had the best chemistry, he and Martin Brodeur, but that's another story for another time. Why don't we move on to the next story, however? But first, I need to get a glass of juice here because my throat's going to give out. Oh yeah, mango juice. If you want to make an Arab happy, give him a nice crisp glass of mango juice. V8, I thought they actually only made vegetable juice, but turns out they make fruit juice. Let's take a look in the chat. And wow, we got two big guns here, Talking Habs and Scotty2 Hockey. Let's talk Habs. In case, again, if there's anyone listening to my channel who's by any chance not subscribed to Scotty2 or Talking Habs, do yourselves a favor and check them out. They're really good YouTubers, especially if you're Canadiens fans. You won't regret it. He says, go Habs, go. Talking Habs says, it's very sad. And he says, Scotty. Then Scotty says, didn't know the Sin Bin had a podcast. Nice. Yeah, every Friday, 9 p.m., or depending on how much technical difficulties, it might be a little later. But yeah, the Sin Bin Hockey Podcast, we're on episode 2. Everything's going really swell, getting a lot of comments, so that helps a lot. So yeah, hope you guys are enjoying it. But in the meantime, we're going to move on to our next topic. Oh, and guys, I forgot to mention, by the way, you can always reach us at the sinbin1996@gmail.com, or if you want to call in and it's a voice call, verbalize your opinions, you can always use Skype, user the Sinbin. And yeah, as you see in the bottom here, and Jake is calling back, so we're just going to add him right here. You there, buddy?
All right. Yeah, well, I'm on my phone. I have 15% battery, so...
All right.
We're going to try and do that.
So we're going to try and do that.
You know what? I got a thing that came up and said, hey, you want to update your computer? And I said, no. And then it's like, I said, oh, okay. And then just randomly it said, hey, remember when you said no?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. They're like, fuck you, we're updating your computer.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. And
so,
as long as you're here, you actually sound great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just on my phone.
Yeah.
I should just do the show from my phone.
Yeah. If anyone in the chat can confirm that you guys can hear Jake's audio, then that will be good. We can move on. You haven't missed much, Jake. OEL, I don't know if you saw that. He actually got bit by his dog. Nasty little gash there on the hand. Yeah, they had to put it down, which sucks. And, yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, there's a whole thing where, dogs... They bite your owner, and the family member, they got to put them down, and it's unfortunate, but hey.
Yeah, hey.
You can have if the dog's biting the owner, you can't really have.
So what's the reason exactly for putting it down? Is it like a punishment, or what happened?
Well, they put it down. I mean, that's the ultimate punishment if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you bit me. You're gonna you're dead.
Yeah.
They put it down where I guess like certain dogs, if they are aggressive.
Yeah.
And I think he had like a German Shepherd, so it wasn't like a little foo-foo dog.
Oh, it's an aggressive dog.
A notoriously aggressive dog who are also very loyal to the people in their house. And sometimes I think that when that happens, they actually have to. I guess every situation is different. And maybe they realized maybe this dog,
Right.
Maybe it was for the best that they do put him down for his family safety. I don't know if he has small children or anything like that.
Yeah.
And but it comes down to animals are animals.
Yeah.
And they're sometimes that they're going to go into that primitive state.
Yep.
And I have a cat, and my cat has attacked my daughter, but never provoked. Never unprovoked, I should say.
Yeah.
She's went around trying to grab his tail, and then she comes up to us saying, "Bubba pinched me. Bubba pinched me."
Oh, wow.
And we're like, "Why did Bubba pinch you?" And she said,
Go ahead.
She said, "Because I pulled his tail."
There you go. Hey, I gotta say, I have a severe allergies to cat. I hate cats. And my best friend, he was with a girl at the time. She was, I'm trying not to say the word, but she was a bitch. She was not a good person, that girl. And they had 3 cats. And I didn't know at the time that they had cats, so I get invited over. And my eyes are watering. My fucking nose is bleeding. I'm just in all of my states. And I tell the girlfriend, listen, can you put the cats in a room or your bedroom or some fucking shit? She says, oh, just go open the window. Like that's going to do anything. Thanks a lot.
Give you a Benadryl or something.
Yeah, Benadryl.
I mean, Jesus Christ. I have a few friends that are like that, and like they'll come over and they'll be like, okay, I was like, you all right? Like if I hear him sneeze or cough, I'll be like, you want to go?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. But
yeah,
no,
So let's move on. I talked a little bit about Chris Kunitz. He announced his retirement. Scotty Toews, who Jake, I don't know if you know, he's a really good YouTuber. He talks about the Habs. He says Kunitz was a stud in Chicago, and he got a stud there in the staff for sure. So big fan of Kunitz. I don't know if you like Kunitz that much. Do you have anything to say about that?
Solid player.
Solid player. Yeah, there you go.
Like lunch pail guy.
Lunch pail guy.
He played it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had any All-Star games or anything like that.
He must have. I would imagine.
It's hard. Well, he played a lot in Chicago, not in Chicago, in Pittsburgh. You kind of get overshadowed,
right,
with the 2 guys there. And also, the goalie and and everyone else.
Yeah. So we wish the best to Chris Kunitz. In the meantime, speaking of Chicago, we got a little story here about Jonathan Toews. And he made a few comments. Yeah, or Toews as I call him. Yeah. I love Toews. And if you guys don't know, I'm yeah. I love Jonathan Toews. Got a huge foot fetish me. He seems like the type of guy when he was growing up, everyone would call him Toews, and he would be like, guys, it's pronounced Toews. But yeah, these Toews are really salty because he was on the Waddle and Sylvie show, and he was not really impressed with the St. Louis Blues Cup run. He says, and I quote, "There was no part of me that was happy. Let's make that clear. To me, them tanking at the start of the year was a huge underachievement. I'm not ready to give them as much credit as everyone else was. But you know what wasn't an underachievement, Jonathan Toews? Winning the fucking cup. I get it that there's a rivalry."
Yeah, I know. It's sort of.
Yeah,
but they're it's not. If they were tanking, they messed up. If they were in the Jack Hughes Capo conversation, they didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
They really dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, and
that reminds me. There was an Onion article. They said it said the Denver Nuggets realized they may have messed up their tanking situation to get Zion Williams, and the Denver Nuggets actually finished like second best record in the West. So.
Really, There you go.
So like, yeah, just and that's the way that Jonathan Toews is saying. I know he's Captain Serious, and
Yeah.
So I come on, it's a rivalry. He's gonna say that, but I'm not impressed that they tanked in the first half of the season. They wasn't tanking; they just didn't play that well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Christ! No one. We weren't. You guys had the third overall pick. We weren't impressed with you.
Yeah.
Come on. You didn't turn it on. I actually think that might be one of the most impressive cup runs in all of the history.
Dude, that's exactly what I was gonna say. He says it's an underachievement. I'm not gonna give them credit. The fact that they were last and went all the way up to winning the cup, that makes it the opposite of an underachievement. That makes it a massive overachievement. But that being said, Captain Serious, or in this case, Captain Salty, I just like it overall when players speak their mind. And that's what this guy did. It gives us a lot of content anyway. So, yeah, I like it anyway. I thought it was a really funny comment because the Blues and Blackhawks have a really big rivalry. They've been going at it for a couple of years now, and you could really see it.
But
with
it's a little dumb. He's like, he kind of just said, give him credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
Levi, big comeback by them.
Yeah. Levi says they were so bad at tanking. I think he said to me, they won the cup. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't do a good job of. It feels like the movie Major League when they're trying to make the team suck so bad that so they get to relocate and stuff. Yeah. But then they ended up playing good. I wonder if that was the whole thing. If they were trying to get like St. Louis to just go nuts. You know who was happy about St. Louis winning the cup?
Oh, I know who. The Crimson Chin.
Oh, the Crimson Chin. He said he didn't sleep for like 2 or 3 days after they won the cup. He was giddy.
Oh, I forgot to message him, but I could only imagine.
God, he was I was happy. I was happy because I used to rip on him all the time about how bad the Blues were.
Yeah.
And he deserved it, to see them win a cup. Yeah. I think everybody in their lifetime, you should see their team win a cup.
Yeah.
I know you haven't.
I haven't. In case you guys don't know what we're talking about, we used to be on an old hockey channel called Shot from the Point, and they stopped doing hockey content. But anyway, there was a co-host. Can we name drop, you think?
Yeah, we can.
He's
a YouTuber.
Yeah, his name was Jeff Huffman, and he was a massive Blues fan. And I could only imagine his reaction when they won the cup. I mean, the only person that was maybe a little bit happier than him was probably me, because Boston didn't win the cup. And I hate the Boston Bruins. They're the worst team in the league. They're classless. But there you go. So, Jeff Huffman, we would give him shit for looking like Dennis Klebold or Dylan Klebold.
Dylan Klebold.
Yeah.
The line I said about him in the roast is, he's a bodybuilder, and the line I said about him in the roast is, you have the face of a school shooter and the body of the kid that used to bully him.
Yeah.
So.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Hey.
But shout out to Jeff.
Shout out to Jeff.
Everybody, Dead on Day Productions, all them, everything they do over there.
Yeah, and
it was a whole team.
Had the Blues won, we would have probably seen Dylan Klebold Part 2. So hey, another good thing about them winning. So. I'm gonna go to hell. Why don't we move on to our next topic, and that is Andrei Vasilevskiy. Yeah, Vasilevskiy, the goalie for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He signs a whopping 8-year, $76 million contract extension. That's an average annual value of $9.5 million. His contract will kick in for the 2020-2021 season. Now, I don't really know your opinion on this, but for me at least, and I see it firsthand because the Canadians have Carey Price, who is the richest goalie in the NHL. I'm not a fan of paying a goalie this much money, and I'm going to explain why, but first I want to hear your take on this.
I think Vasilevskiy is, he's good. I just don't think I just kind of think that he's not one of those goalies that's going to be good forever.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. Carey Price is one of those generational goalies. Pecorine, generational goalie.
Yeah.
I just see him, and I just don't think that he's that. He's a good goalie right now, but you know that goalies could be very tough to get a read on. They could be hot a couple of years and then get a big contract, and then all of a sudden they're out of nowhere. Like I see Vasilevsky as we're probably gonna get so much shit for this, but
go for it.
Kind of like a Jonathan Quick.
Oh, Jonathan Quick's a good player. Do you mean
Jonathan Quick? Jonathan Quick was a great goalie. He's had a rough patch. He was a great goalie for a good 3 or 4 years.
Oh, you mean he's like Jonathan Quick now?
I think he could be this new Jonathan Quick. Like how Jonathan Quick had a couple good years where nothing could get by this guy.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, like, I don't know if it's the situation he's playing in. I have a feeling Tampa Bay's probably not going to be as good.
You think so? I disagree.
I don't know. It's just something about him is just kind of, I don't know. I just kind of think they're going to have a little bit of a hangover to do what they did and then lose in 4 games.
Hey, exactly. Where's the hangover? They lost in 4 games.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, that's the hangover right there.
Did they drink on the golf course or what happened?
I don't know if you saw the NHL awards hosted by Keenan Thompson.
Oh, that was hilarious. Yeah.
What he said about,
say it for the viewers who didn't hear it.
Oh yeah, he said something along the lines of, the Tampa Bay Lightning had a historical regular season, with the amount of wins and points they accumulated. Then they had an historical playoffs with no wins. Yeah. Something along those lines.
Yeah, win or lose, they're setting records.
Yeah, win or lose, they're setting records.
Yeah,
which was a very, very, very accurate depiction of that season that they had. Because I don't know, I just kind of think like maybe the gas used up, but we'll see. If Alaska, you still have Stamkos, you still have Hedman, you still have all those guys, but a part of me just thinks that they're not going to be as good.
Yeah.
Maybe a wild card team, maybe a team in the mix.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to get a lot of shit for this, but it's just I kind of just have a feeling like,
oh, you're going to get shit because I don't agree.
No, I know that. People are going to start saying, you doesn't know what he's talking about.
No.
I have flaming bags of dog poop at my house.
Well, from our 4 listeners.
Yeah, from all 4 of them.
Yeah. 4 different.
Our 4 loyal wrestlers. Our 4 loyal listeners.
Yeah. Now, here's what I was going to say, and I'm really interested to know you guys in the comments your take, because there's a lot of Canadians fans out there. I like Carey Price. I think he's a franchise goalie, like Levin Ackerman says in the chat. I think he's really, really good. I think when it comes to athleticism, when it comes to speed, when it comes to just overall technique in the net, Carey Price is the standard right now.
Yeah.
Vasilevsky is maybe top 3, but Carey Price is the standard. But in my opinion, in my faithful opinion, the difference between a $10 million goalie and let's say a $6 million goalie, it's not as big as between a $10 million forward and a $6 million forward.
Oh, no,
definitely. I think that a goalie like, let's say it, Ben Bishop, like a lot of people are, Levi in the chat is comparing him to Bishop Vasilevsky. I think that a Bishop isn't all that far away from a Carey Price, and this is what's going to get me shit, because in Montreal, whatever Carey Price does, people are behind it, people are whatever, okay? But I honestly think the drop between a franchise goalie and an elite starting goalie isn't all that big, and in my opinion, it's not worth the money. For Carey Price's contract, I would have given it to a guy that's, like Panarin or something like that, and have a average goalie instead, say a Martin Jones in net. I would have done that every day.
Yeah. I mean, there's right now in the NHL, there's not that generational goalie. There's no Patrick Waugh, Martin Brodeur, Dominic Hasek type goalies right now that you have a conversation about.
Yeah.
There's good goalies. There's good goalies, but none to those three. There's none that I could just put into that conversation. And even like a Henrik Lundqvist, they can't even, and best believe, like probably for a good 5 or 6 years, he was one of the best in the game.
Yeah.
And like you start thinking throughout the league, the only goalie that could come close that I personally think is, in my opinion, I like him and I think he's probably one of the best, is Pekka Rinne.
Yeah.
I don't think I've gone.
Here's the thing. I like Pekka Rinne
And
too.
Bobrovsky, okay, let me take that back because I completely forgot. Pekka Rinne and Bobrovsky may be the best goalies in the league right now.
Right. I think that they both have a lot to prove, though, because Bobrovsky didn't have a great year, and Pekka Rinne is just notorious for being shitty in the playoffs. But I see what you're saying. They're two definitely in the top 5 for me. Here's the problem, though, with Rinne and even Price. Price, I think right now he's the closest to a franchise goalie. He's definitely number 1 in my eyes. He's never going to be Patrick Roy. He's never going to be Ken Dryden unless he wins that cup. And I'm the biggest Habs fan, so I'm wishing it the most. But he's never going to be in that conversation unless he wins the cup.
Do you think he wins a cup with the Habs if he ever does win one?
That's a good question. I would expect him to end his career with the Habs.
You think so?
I think so.
Because, Montreal could, they've wrote a franchise goalie out of town.
Yeah.
So
they like him. They like him too much, Carey Price. He's really. And you want to hear the worst part? And this is a true story. If there's Habs fans still out there, please don't turn it off now. This is the hypocrisy that our fan base can have. I think we have the best fan base in the world, but there are some really shitty people out there. I believe it was 2010. I had tickets to a regular season game between the Montreal Canadiens and the Philadelphia Flyers. And back in those days, let me just give you the climate on in terms of how it was with Carey Price. At school, I would get bullied for liking Carey Price. He was not there, and I know you're laughing because I got bullied a lot, but he was not liked. There was another guy of the name of Yaroslav Halak, and he was the savior in Montreal. And I went to see a game, I want to say it was in 2010, 2011, 2009, around that vicinity. Halak was starting, and they were playing the Flyers, and he got lit up. Jake, he played horrible. After the period, it was 3-0. Then early in the second, maybe 4-0, something like that. And then the Canadiens started scoring goals, closing the gap to 4-1, 4-2. And you could sense a comeback. But then they would shoot it on Halak, and it would go in. The goalie had a bad game. That's understandable. But listen to what happens next. They announce on the Jumbotron, whatever, that they're making a goalie change. They're putting in Carey Price. Do you know what they did?
What they do?
They booed him.
They booed? Yeah.
They booed Carey Price. The player who's now viewed as the Almighty was once booed by those very same people. Fuck those people. They have no place. First of all, to boo your own player. I don't care how bad he is. He could fucking be putting pucks, ripping them in his net like Patrick Laney. I would never boo my own player. And I hope you guys listening would never do that either, because that is disgusting. They booed him, and
I can't think of a time I'd boo my own player. I'd boo the team and the way they're playing. Yes.
Yeah, and
but I'd never boo the individual player.
Yeah, and it's been a habit in Montreal. They've done it with Patrick.
Yeah,
Brisebois.
I mean,
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
been
I
a
mean,
habit.
I mean, it's just you guys are a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like your mentality is like that of like a soccer hooligan
Hmm.
with hockey. You know,
Yeah.
where like the rest of the country, for the most part, is kind of a little bit laid back and laxed. You know,
Yeah.
but you guys are like you. Hockey is it's a different experience,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you've ever seen hockey at a different stadium or anything like that, or different arena.
Yeah,
Like,
I've been to the Boston Garden. I've been to
but like
yeah.
you got to admit, like it's so much different in Montreal.
Oh yeah.
You guys treat it like how the rest of the world treats soccer.
Yeah.
You know, you guys have little chants and little things like that is just that you guys all know, and and like for the rest of us, the Devils, we we're a small fan base, but we're a loyal fan base, and I think we're gonna start to accumulate a few more with the way this team is put together this year.
Yeah.
So, and but I mean, we don't like even the Rangers, and it's just there's nothing like how it is in Montreal. I've never been to a game, but I've heard from multiple people that there's nothing like going to see a Habs game.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. In fact, our family, we used to go to the TD Garden, which is the Boston Bruins arena, and we would check out Montreal Canadiens Boston Bruins game. And this was before the Bruins were big. That's before they won the cup, before anything like that. So the arena was almost 75% Montreal Canadiens. There was barely any Boston Bruins fan, to the point where the Canadiens won that game. Kovalev had 2 highlight reel goals, not a big deal. But a fan came to our family after, and he said to my dad, "Thanks for having us." Because that's how many Canadiens fans there was. The Bruins fans were saying, "Thanks for having us over." and they were cool. And then we went again, I think a year later, and the Bruins had become popular, so it was almost impossible to get tickets. And Jake, I've never seen some fucking rude fans like the ones that were there. That's the game. I don't know if you'd know it, but Canadiens fans who've been watching them for a while, they definitely know it. That's the game where Milan Lucic beat the shit out of Mike Komisarek.
Oh yeah, I do vaguely remember that.
Yeah, I was at that game. And
nice.
I was shitting not far from Lucic from the penalty box, and I was terrified.
It's funny, like there was one time me and my friend and I, for his birthday, he was working. And it's funny, I was actually hooking up with this girl. He got out of work early, and he said, "Dude, you want to go to Long Island? Go to an Islanders game?" Like on my text message, I looked down and I said, pretty much told this girl, "Gotta go." Just went home, got my jersey on, met him, and him and his girlfriend went to this game, and we were like we were sitting all the way up top, like way up top.
Yeah.
So first intermission comes, we go down, we grab something to eat and use the bathroom, and I'm waiting for my friend and his girlfriend, and then the usher comes up to me. "Where are you guys sitting?" I was like, "Oh, we're sitting up there." My dad, I'm in the Devils jersey. We're all in Devils jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "You guys want to sit down here?" I'm like,
"That's awesome.
How much?" And he's like, "Yeah, just go down. We'll wait for your friends and just send them down." So like we were sitting all the way in the top part of the stadium to 3 rows from the ice. So it was just so freaking cool. And it's like, I was saying, like, I was like, dude, I'm a Devils fan. And you see that,
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That
and
is
like,
really
awesome. They ended up losing. And I was looking for my friend, and he was looking for me, and I was running towards him. And some fucking Islanders fans like, "That's right, run back to Jersey." And I said something, is like, "Yeah, I'll run back to my 3 fucking cups within a lifetime." So yeah,
they sound like Bruins fan. I was for the Stanley Cup final this year with the Blues and the Bruins. I was at a bar in fucking Maine. It's not even Boston,
Oh, but it's New England, so yeah.
Oh, God, they're so fucking rude. Fuck those people. I know it's not everyone. I'm not targeting, but those people, fuck you guys. You made my life miserable. I couldn't watch the game. They were heckling me the whole time. Some guy wanted to beat the shit out of me. And then the Stanley Cup, the Blues win the Stanley Cup. And I go to them and I say, screw you guys. You guys lost. Fucking peasants. But your story, it reminded me. I went to Tampa Bay for a Lightning's Canadiens game. And we were sitting right behind the Tampa Bay bench. And there was I was with me and my brother. And there was these two Tampa Bay girls. They were sitting right behind the Canadiens bench. And basically the same seat, just mirrored on each side. And they come up to me and they say, hey, do you want to be behind your favorite team and we'll be behind our favorite team and we make a switch? I say, sure, that's awesome. And for a game, and there's really nothing like it, I got to sit behind the bench. And you get to hear the players, like, see them toss towels to each other. It's really awesome. But the best part is that we ate Olive Garden before going to the hockey game.
Oh, no.
And I ate a lot of, like, garlic bread and salad dressing and that type of stuff. And one of my favorite activities is to let out a silent burp or, like, a silent fart and just, like, blow it to my brother's side and just wait and see his reaction. And Jake, he came so close to throwing up behind the Montreal Canadiens bench. It was so bad. I'm pretty sure Jacques Martin got a whiff of it. And he doesn't even have a big nose. He has big ears.
He probably heard it. His ears probably went, oh, what was that?
Oh, boy. Do you want to end it here, or do you want to do one last story?
No, I think this is a good note to end it on.
This is a good stinky note to end it on.
Yeah, a good stinky brown note.
Yeah.
Brown noise.
Yeah, so there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed episode 2 of the Sin Bin podcast. A little bit of technical difficulties. We'll have it sorted out in the future. Again, we're still growing, but we appreciate those guys in the comments, whether it be Levi, whether it be Talking Habs, whether it be Scotty 2, or any other one who is listening. Thanks for being there.
Keep listening. Share it. Tell a friend. Have a friend tell a friend, and all that.
Yeah, all of that. Follow us.
Yeah.
I didn't put it up, but we have a Facebook page called the Sin Bin Podcast. Or if not, you can email your questions at thesinbin1996@gmail.com, and I'll have it answered in a future video, and or in future hockey podcasts. You can call us on Skype as per usual.
And by the way, everybody email that and ask them to do the cutest hockey players.
Yeah. So
we should. You know what? We're gonna break it down. We'll do it. We'll find a way to do it. If it's a slow week, we will break down the cutest hockey players.
Yeah.
And the ugliest hockey players.
Oh well, that's not that. Do we all agree that Bufflin takes the cake there?
For ugliest?
Yeah.
Patrick Laine.
Oh yeah, shit. Patrick Laine's ugly.
And also Tuukka Rask.
Oh, Tuukka
Rask.
Well,
that and more coming up in the weeks. You know, like I'm a straight guy. You're, I think, a straight guy.
I am a straight guy. Let's make it abundantly clear.
I want to make a list. And we'll talk about it. Your top 10 cutest hockey players, and your top 10 not ugly but funny looking hockey players.
Levi says Malkin is cute.
And just a couple of guys just a couple of straight guys talking about who's cute.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I know I'm supposed to be closing out, but you know how they say that when you have a pet dog, the more that you age, the more you end up looking like the dog?
Yeah.
I find that the longer that Sidney Crosby's been on the Penguins, the more he's looking like an actual penguin. Is that just...
I see it. Yes. Yes, that is accurate.
Oh, my God.
All right.
Yeah, so stay tuned to the only hockey show that talks about players' looks. No other hockey show on the YouTubes.
Nope. I can't think of another one in the history of anything.
Yeah. So Ovi is ugly. So Talking Habs says Ovi is ugly.
See, I think this is going to be a great topic.
I think it could be a great topic, but then
I think it can be.
We get a bunch of dislikes from guys saying these two greasy fucks commenting on people's looks.
Yeah, who are we to judge, you know?
Yeah.
I'm a fucking fat 300-pound guy from New Jersey, and you're a fucking Arab from Canada.
Yeah. I'm that guy that's just so racially confused you don't even know what the hell I am.
Yeah.
But that being said, Talking Habs says thanks for entertaining me. Hey, thanks for being here for us. We appreciate you in the comments. The stardom bringing that prestige to the sin bin. And I think this is a good place to end it. So, Jake, my co-host, thank you for being there.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you guys again next Friday.
See you guys again. And as per usual, my name is Matt. Keep your stick on the ice.